out. Talk it out, show. Talk it out, show. Talk it out. Talk it out.
Yeah, talk it out, trying to figure out the path. We over here doing everything with the rap.
Hey, welcome to the Talk It Out Show. How are you guys doing out there?
Oh, yes.
Take my glasses off because that's all. I'm looking blind. So basically, I'm just gonna be like, I can't see you, but I'm talking to you.
Okay.
So I was talking to Lydia today, asking a question because, everybody's been kind of going through some things during COVID and everything, and where we're from, there's a lot of organizations and stuff out there that have been helping, our people of color, and and there's a lot of funds and things like that. Well, I encountered a program that they were telling us to refer people to or whatever, and they were telling us to refer people that was receiving like a local EBT or SNAP, but actually the cash benefits for our state. Not the SNAP, because it's just the cash benefits. And it had to be that. They had to be a person who was receiving cash benefits. So, if you receive the cash benefits, then you are able to, once they verify that through the city or whatever that you're in the county or whatever, then they would be able to help you, with your kids, they're focusing on the children. So they're focusing on the kids' education, giving you some free time, maybe take your kids to the park, whatever. Also to, maybe help clean your house, whatever needs you in your mind feel you need at that moment. So what I was saying to Lydia was, and I feel this way about mental health too, and we'll talk about that another time. But I was saying for people who are in those programs, I think it's hard because they say you have to do an assessment in order to do it, and the person has to come into your home, talk to you, whatever, or you can meet them somewhere else. It doesn't really matter, but they're basically going to do the assessment, find out how many kids you have or whatever, and what the needs are. But to me, I feel like that is, you run the risk of, regardless whoever it is, you letting someone in your home, of them judging it. And like I was telling Lydia, just as people, even if I was to get a job or she was to get a job for that organization or anybody was to get a job, we're all different people and we all feel differently. So say I walk into your home and I'm like, their home is just disgusting, blah, 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 and they're not suited. This is how the home is not suitable for these kids. They need to be taken. That's my opinion. So even though I'm working for this, so my opinion can affect this person's life, because I can go, you know what, you guys need to take these kids because she's not keeping home, blah, 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 when I was really supposed to be going into her home to help her not get into that situation. And so a lot of times I'm going, I'm wondering what is actually beneficial, because of course if you become part of the program, you may get like a gift card and $100 or whatever it is that they're offering you. But to me, sometimes I'm like, is that worth it? Because we can't judge everybody all the time. I've seen even tons of times I've been on Facebook and people will show somebody, oh, well, what would you do if you came to this person's house and you saw this? And then a lot of people, I was saying that they were like, a lot of people have mental illnesses and they that's the thing. They can't keep a clean house, or they this and that. That's one of the things. So some people actually need help. They really want help, but of course, they don't want to have somebody come look at their home and, get help, because then, of course, they're going to be like, oh, my God, and then worry about the repercussions of that. So I was talking to Lydia about it because I wanted to say, see her opinion, what she thought about that, because to me, I feel like it's just a setup. I feel like, if I'm sitting here going, okay, yeah, come on in my house, and you are supposed to assess me to see me as part of this program, and then you look at my house and you're like, this is not okay, and your kids need this, that. Instead, I was supposed to be coming to help you clean so you wouldn't get your kids sick, and I'm judging you already from the get-go, and I'm going to go, okay, I'm going to report it because I am attached now to be able to report to the state, and then you could be getting your kids taken from you or something. That just poses a whole other thing, when in actuality, this program was supposed to help you. So to me, I was asking her, what do you think about stuff like that? She had a good point, about saying, if you're dealing with the enemy, you deal with the enemy. It's like You can't sit there and say, I'm trying to be good, doing something good for something, and you're dealing, it's tied to that. They have to, I don't know. For me, I think that's when you get a lot of people in your business, and I guess that was my whole thing about the program. Once I heard, they're like, oh, recommend these people. It's like, well, I don't know if I would want to recommend somebody in that situation. Yeah, they may get a couple $100, but what are you risking? You don't want, so that's why we're I think our culture is really to me, I don't know how everybody else is, but to me, in my culture, we're kind of leery of who we let up in our houses. You know what I'm saying? To me. So that's why I was kind of like, okay, and especially people like that, because then they come up in there, and in our place where we live, we're used to the wrong people coming up in your house. It's already bad, the state that we live in, the rules and laws that they have are not conducive to how our culture lives. So you can't sit there and you already saying you can't discipline your kid this way and you can't do this. That's not our culture. We don't do that. We do discipline our kids a certain way, and because our kids, to me, are different, and that's just how we are. And they respect every other culture's way other than ours. And so then I don't want anybody, and I don't want somebody even of my own culture coming over my house telling me how to do something. You know what I mean? Yeah, if you want to be a helper or whatever, that's great. The best thing a long time ago, I'll never forget this. Leroy's family was just so nice. I was pregnant with my twins, and his sister came over, and and at that time, I think she might have even been pregnant at the time. I had just had the twins, I think it was. And she was pregnant. And she came and cleaned my whole house. Like, no questions, just came in, boom, because a lot of times it's harder after you have babies and stuff like that. And I had already, have so many babies back to back. So she just came in, and at the same time, they just, boom, cleaned my house up. No questions asked. And I tell her to this day, she does not know how much that means to me, because it meant so much. And it wasn't, but she's worked for the system, so she knows all the ins and outs. And so, but they always, know too, they always say too, they don't need to be knowing all your business like that. They don't. You don't need to tell them everything. You don't need to know everything about you like that. You don't. So that's why I think was so scary for me, was to hear that. And I'm like, I was leery. I have not recommended anyone, because when I sat there and thought about it or whatever, I thought, well, I feel that that'd be an intrusion, and it's an intrusion, and it's an opportunity for somebody to come and become in your house, to become judgmental and place the things that they think on you, because we are all different and we feel different. And that's like, okay, I'm bringing somebody else in my house that I do not know, and that could pose a big old problem, just the way their thinking is. So do you think that's correct?
Yeah, I wouldn't do it.
Mm-hmm.
Not for a couple $100.
No, that's what I was saying. It was like, oh, they're going to give those people, like a gift card and maybe $100 or something like that. But it's like, and a lot of times these things, what I'm trying to explain to people is, a lot of these organizations are getting these funds right now because of COVID, and they're getting these funds, but they have their own stipulations that they have to meet in order for them to continue to get their funds. So, like, their funds end by a certain time, like only a couple months, but they're in hopes of getting more funds. And I'm thinking it's because it's banking on if they're going to be getting these participants. But they're wanting people to go out and tell other people. But the whole stipulation is they have to be receiving those cash benefits from that state. And I'm just like, I felt some type of way. You just feel something in your gut. I just like, I don't know. Because I just know too many people who have issues, you know what I mean? And then they do too struggle with sometimes the mental health, or their house may not be the cleanest because the kids, they got 10,000 kids, and it's, they trying to struggle and figure out how to get it clean, and the kids ain't listening and this and that. There's a lot of stuff. And yeah, but I guess, I don't know. It's like, how do we help each other? How do we? Without that, unless it's just, do we just help people that we know ourselves? Help each other?
People ask for help. Yeah, help them. If they don't ask for help, you can't do nothing about it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, would it be that? Maybe, it's just like, for me, I have the issue with, mental health. Like, when mental health, like the psychiatrist, psychologist, those type of people, I have trust issues with those people too. You know what I mean? And so, but then if you don't ever talk to anyone, then you'll never get any help. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So it's like in that sense, it's like, because I think a lot of people battle
my
with
thing
that.
is a lot of mental health stuff is just talking. They don't really give you too much advice, so just you
Have a
find
sounding board.
Yeah, just have your nice sounding board where you just talk and vent, and you can work out your own problems by listening to your own self talk. Sometimes, well, that's what helps me. If I can hear myself talk and talk about the situation out loud, I can fix the situation
Figure it out.
on my own. But that's it.
That's true. So you guys, please let us know what you think. Comment down below. Let us know if you've had, because I've even seen a like group even on Facebook. I might be part of it. I don't know, but it pops up and they talk about the things that they go through with the local DHS office or whatever they have here. They talk about the situations that they're in, and some people are in a lot of situations. Some people got their kids taken from them, trying to get them back, stuff like that, and they talk about that stuff in there. But just what things have you gone through if you guys ever had to use those services, whether it be SNAP or TANF or whatever, if you guys have had any issues or whatever, and do you have trust issues with those type of organizations? Let us know.
Comment below.
All right, and we will see you next time on the Talk It Out Show.
Talk it out, show, talk it out.